I put something in my ear?
It's like white.
I washed my face with this.
Mask.
Yeah, it was a mask.
It's in your ear. I'm sorry. Okay. Is everyone ready? Do you have anything else you want to get off your chest?
No.
Are you sure? Because you can keep talking about it.
Just, I am in a horrid mood.
That's fair. I feel that.
I'm shook. You're horrid mood. What are you?
I'm awake. Look at God. Let me see. Hold on. Now, who am I today?
I don't know, but you need to figure it out because I'm about to press the button.
All right. Well, hold on. Got it.
You ain't got no gum, do you? No, don't give me any. I'm saying you don't have no gum in your mouth, do you? Go toss that. Oh.
Your lifesaver.
The lifesaver. Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, finish that.
Anyway. I'm going to be on it just like this and awake. Because that's the important part.
Is everyone ready?
Hearts and minds.
Ooh, I'm hot. I'm sorry.
All right. Code Switching Naturally podcast. 3,
2,
1.
Hi.
Good morning, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Great day.
Whatever time it is for you.
Great day. Okay, sorry. Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Code Switching Naturally. My name is AJ.
I'm Channy.
Hi, I'm John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Every time. Every single time.
Yeah, welcome back to another episode, guys. Before we get started, wherever you tune in, whether it's YouTube or, what's those other things? Anything
Wherever
you get
cast your pods.
Yeah.
Wherever you cast your pods.
Make sure you subscribe so you can know whenever we post a new episode. And I hope you do so soon because some things coming up that you're probably wanting to tune in for. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But anywho,
you do. Confidence. What'd you do, Andy?
Well, it's not lack of confidence. It's we may or may not have anything going on soon because why? We're planning to wrap things up for the season.
Wrapping it up for the season.
Wrap.
I don't know. Well, you said rap, so I thought I was going to lay down a beat.
Okay. So, I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is probably going to be a great episode too.
I'll be awake for it this time, though.
Yeah, that would be great.
You're welcome.
That would be great. That would be amazing.
Was so fun.
It was so fun.
It
was great.
I was so happy to be a part of this.
Good. I'm glad that I could impart some joy in your life because that was not intentional.
It was a very honest depiction. It was very honest and real.
Right. Because if you'd like to know, I'm motherfucking tired.
Motherfucking tired.
Period.
And that day could not escape it. I tried. I tried my absolute best.
Try to walk away and I stumble.
Right into the mic. Just.
Oh, did y'all see that video where she clapped back with everybody where she said you could suck it? Did y'all see that?
I did not, but now I'm curious.
Oh, I'll show y'all.
Okay.
I'll show y'all off camera.
For sure.
Because, baby, she was like, you can suck a left toe. I don't care.
A left toe.
Because, she sang the anthem.
Mm-hmm.
And people was like, is she on something? Is baby okay?
Well,
damn.
damn.
What? She didn't sound bad. Mm-hmm. It seemed a little off. Just a little bit. Seemed a little.
Okay.
She a little,
So it wasn't a Fergie, but it was a.
It wasn't a Fergie.
What's happening?
But it was definitely. It was almost like, and the Rockets. It was almost like one of them moments. Like she didn't stumble on the words, but it was kind of like an awkward moment like that because of how she was leaning a little bit. But it was like, thank you. And it was beautiful. That was definitely a moment in history I would never forget.
Should not have taken a sip right there.
No, you should not have. I'm sorry.
I regret that decision. I do. I'll be honest about it.
I apologize.
It's okay. It's okay.
So guys, I mean, we could do this again on camera, but like, how are you guys?
I feel like we just. I'm motherfucking tired.
Right.
Like, long week.
For sure. I had 3 motherfuckers lie on me in one day. All before 12 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Before 12.
All before noon.
Oh my God.
They ain't had nothing else to do?
Apparently not.
Okay.
My God.
And they were all adults. Pissed me off.
I mean, I automatically assumed.
Oh, yeah.
I automatically assumed. Yeah, no, you have far less trouble with the children
exactly
than you do with the
Completely do.
adults,
Yeah.
which
I
is
do all
wild
the time.
to me because it's a troubled school.
You would think the kids would be like,
You had that the one who like almost caught hands.
oh, yeah, no, she was insistent on us catching hands. Like,
Right,
she
she wanted to have an exchange.
She wanted to
Oh,
do
she
that
wanted to boss
specific-
up. Okay.
She wanted to exclusively
Oh,
make
she
sure.
wanted exclusive. Okay.
Yeah, she wanted to definitely
VIP.
like poke the bear open
Oh,
to where I would have just tried to stab her. But you know, that's neither here nor there.
I'm proud of you for not.
Listen, God came in that room every time. When I take, because the day she was like, "Yeah, bitch, I was mad at you," and da da da, I just looked at her, but the old inner Ariel was ready to rag her across the table.
Of course.
By that weave she liked to put in her head.
Right.
Not securely, but it was there.
Oh, you could see it. You could see where you put.
Sis, I can see the lace.
You could see the angles
I can
that you
see
have to tug.
The lace is
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, but yeah, no, she was the only one. But all of them, they're teenagers. They don't like being told yes, no, and to do something. So that's typical teenagers. So
That's that.
I still don't like that now. So I get it.
They tend to grow up to adults who don't like yes, no, and being told to do.
because they wouldn't lie on me to the principal. All 3,
Cute.
The new principal. Wow,
and she didn't question me about none of it yet.
cool.
And actually, I think when we had the conversation, she was just like, the first part was the SRO and the dean, the 6th grade dean, decided they wanted me to write a statement about baby girl who they had, you know, the one that got the big feelings. She was trying to take her head off this time. And before it could escalate that far, you know, baby brother called me and was like, "Hey, yo, it's an emergency. You need to get over here ASAP."
Okay.
So I was like, "Where y'all at?" And he was like, "Yo, no, come to the cafeteria, like, right now." I'm walking up and I hear, "Bitch, say something else about me on this walkie. Say something else about me. I'm going to knock your ass out." I said, "Okay. I think it's time for me to move her away from the situation."
No, she
Yeah.
needs to go. She needs to
But
leave.
I was in her face when she said it this time. So I had to like literally like get in her eyesight because baby is...
Yeah, she's 10 up. Yeah. Yeah.
She can't see nobody. He's like, she here now. She here. Didn't you ask for Miss Stevens? She right here. Like, she here. So I said, "Excuse me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hey. I said, "Hey, come on. Let's go take a walk." And she was trying to walk to. I said, No, we're not going that way." And so he hadn't let her go. The SRO is behind her. It was like, "Hey, you have to calm down, or I'm going to put you in handcuffs." I said, "So no, you can back up.
What are you?
I got it.
Doing?
That only escalates the situation.
What are you doing? Like, there's clearly someone there to de-escalate the situation, and you gonna amp it up?
Why?
Like,
Luckily, she was too gone to hear it.
okay.
She wasn't even, her sights was set. And I didn't realize the dean had come closer to us. Didn't see that. I wasn't worried about her.
Right.
She should have been worried about herself.
Right.
That's not
Clearly was not no self-preservation. Okay, so like I just need to say this real quick. So listen, I know that in a fight between an adult and a child, sometimes, most of the time, the adults gonna win out. But listen, not every time.
Not this one.
And, right. And like,
not this one. Baby girl is 11. And even though she not quite my height, she probably like 5'1", 5'2", is that?
Oh, she tall. Jesus.
She's 11. And that's tall for an 11-year-old?
5'1", 5'2".
Is it? It's about 4 inches shorter than me.
Yeah, so no. Not really.
Not really.
All right, because I'm a small lady.
Petite. La petite.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, no, she definitely, because B couldn't hold her too much. He had to, like, readjust his grip because she was, baby, she got some scruff to her.
Oh, so she's strong with a K.
Yeah. Also, if someone is that focused.
Oh, baby, she ain't seen nothing.
They got tunnel vision.
She ain't seen nothing.
She's
crackhead
ready.
strength.
She's
like when
ready
I say
to box.
When I say I had to get up in her face and was like, "Hey, yo, like, hey, it's me. Can you hear me? I'm right here. Look at me." And she finally was like you could see her starting to go like, "Oh, wait a minute, okay." And he was like, and she was like, "Let me go, bro. Let me go." And he was like, "No, I can't let you go until you calm down. Are you gonna go this way?" I said, "The only way," and I touched her. I said, "The only way he gonna let you go is if you go that way and you calm down." And so then she like slowly took off, like slowly backed up. And so then I grabbed her hand. I said, "Give me your hand." And then we went and walked the track. It took me 10 minutes.
I'm surprised it wasn't more. Like not to like call into question your prowess, but like if someone is again tunnel vision, they're ready to do a murder.
Luckily, it hadn't escalated more than that. Like, he called me, like, almost immediately.
Yeah.
So, because she was still, like, here with it, it didn't take as long.
Right. But to be that laser focused here.
And so, they asked me to write a statement about what happened. And I was like, I can only write about me intervening. I can't write a statement.
Right.
I can only say, hey, I intervened. I was called and I intervened. And I was able to calm her down.
There you go.
That's all I can write about. And then he was just like, well, and then because she said, did you get my email from last night? I said, no. And she's like, well, I need you to write me a statement about what happened. I was like, I wasn't there for that, so I can't really contribute to what you're asking me for.
Yeah, you were only there for the intervention, so I don't understand the problem.
So then she went and told the SRO, I guess. And so the SRO came to me not even 5 minutes later. It was just like, hey, we need you to write a statement because now it's a criminal investigation. I said, criminal?
For what?
For what?
For what?
I was like,
what crime
okay.
did she commit?
I was like, okay, sure. But again, I wasn't there. So all I did was remove her. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't see what happened. All I knew was, hey, I was called. They asked me, hey, she having some big feelings. I removed her. After that, I can't say anything else.
Right.
So
I don't understand.
They went and told the principal that I wasn't cooperating and I was acting like I didn't want to write the statement.
What statement?
Okay. And so then she came in. She was like, I know there's a confidentiality and I know there's certain things that you can and cannot say. And I was just like, yeah. And she was like, so basically they're trying to put, because she does not have any plan, no IEP, no nothing, which she should have had years ago.
Right.
But we've been on this a little bit long. But anyway, this actually makes sense. But they were just she's basically trying to get her the services or the help that she was supposed to have a long time ago. And so they were talking about, if there's any interventions that you used with her, even the first time she went or even the first time she did this. And I was just like, that's not what y'all asked me for.
Right.
You didn't ask me for interventions. You didn't ask me about my interactions with her. You didn't ask me what type of issues that I have with her. That's not what you asked me.
You asked me for a statement about the incident.
I was like, I can't write about that incident because I wasn't there. All I did was remove her and calmed her down. And they were like, okay, well, that's fine. And then she was just like, I'm approachable. So if you have any questions, I don't have no questions about none of my kids when it comes to you. I have no questions. And when she was just like, it's just something, it's always, I was just like, she said, well, she was like, I don't know. I guess if we knew the triggers, I was like, well, you're one.
Well.
And then when the principal came back and me, Jackson, and the principal was talking about it, I said, there's multiple people in this building who has told her no and has told her to do something, and she's done it. She may have given them some pushback a little bit, but she's never exploded on them like she exploded on her. Like she explodes on her. And I was like, and it's 3 to 4 different people in this building that can get that reaction out of her. And I was just like, I said, her teachers, they might get a little pushback. She may tell them no. She might get flip at the lip and be like, no, I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to do that. But as far as her blow-ups like that, it only happens with these 3 to 4 people. And she was like, oh, really? And I was like, and yes. And the mom is frustrated because mom has asked for assistance. Mom has asked for her to be evaluated. And the dean never followed through on any of it. But you was willing to throw her out, though. And now you're trying to get her put back out again.
Right.
And she barely been here a month.
Right. So we're seeing the connection. Right.
And I was just like, and I told her the truth. I was just like, listen, I wasn't being funny. I wasn't being facetious. I wasn't trying to be difficult. That's literally what it is.
Right.
I was like, it's not just authority that she has an issue with.
Right.
It's your tone and how you coming at her. If she feels attacked in any way, or if she feel like she needs to protect herself or anybody around her, she's going for the jugular. She's not, and it's not a, oh, hey, don't talk to me like that. You talk to me crazy, I'm knocking you out. Like there's no in between for her.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I realized she does have this, like, so we said all of this to say, okay, so again, I said this a couple weeks ago. We were talking about attachment styles briefly and how, like, everybody has those weird versions of attachment style. And for her, it is so much anxiety or anxiousness about, like, with who she's attached to. And it turns into, like, this beast of a thing, like, where she's just locked in on, like, who she needs to get to. She even turned it on her sister a couple times. And so this leads me to the question of the day, because we could talk about that all day. We could do an episode of...
And should.
And shit.
And should.
The Lakeshore Tales. Like,
also, just the education system and its failings on of the children. I'm not even a part of it. It makes me.
That's honestly why I left the education major when after a while, was the education system, the way that it deals with students. But that's besides the point.
it particularly students in Title I schools,
Especially
because my school is a Title I, and sometimes I'm really, like, worried about what they care about and what they don't. And they finally have someone in there that cares, and the kids love her, so that's a good thing.
Good.
They love it. They was like, "Oh, that's my favorite principal. Hey, my favorite principal." And she was like, "Hey, my favorite students."
That's
but
good.
yeah, like
that seems like a good mix. Important.
Because I promise you, she don't talk louder than this.
Ooh.
that's my favorite. That's my favorite.
She don't talk louder than this. You know what? We were gonna do attachment styles, y'all, but fuck this. We're gonna talk about education today.
Oh, thank God. Oh,
Okay.
great. Fantastic.
So,
Love it.
Because I'm not saying that white people can't teach black students.
Sure.
However, I am saying that white people cannot come into black spaces and expect their privilege and their power to be the driving force in how they interact with their black students.
Very much so.
And
Like, and we don't even have near enough time to go into the history that is the back foot that that people of color have been on as far as education goes. Yeah, no, we simply don't have the time. But
I have had, last year we had maybe 85, maybe 90% black teachers. This year we'll be lucky if we had 20%.
That is
That's wild.
crazy. I mean, and like, let's also be 100% real. It's not like the education system is particularly helpful to the teachers.
No.
No, definitely not. The education system has not been fair to anyone who is involved with the education system, whether you be a student, administrator, or...
Don't let you be a mental health professional inside of a school. Don't do it.
Bro.
Don't be, and I'm not talking about a school psychologist or a person that works directly for the county. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying to you, even a school psychologist, though, they don't listen to their recommendations and their things either. So never mind. I'm talking about them too. But don't let you, don't let you be a mental health professional in a building. When I say, it's so interesting, even though I have said on multiple cases, multiple questions have been asked multiple different ways, and every time I have made it very clear, I am not a school counselor. I do not care, relatively, about a child's grades. That's not my issue.
Sure.
Is it important that my kids feel empowered enough to want to have good grades, to keep good grades so they can go wherever they want to go in life? Yes. However, that's not my job.
Right. Also, seeing if they have bad grades
It's not a determining factor for a diagnosis, so I really don't give a shit.
Fair. So, I mean, like, I'd assume, like, if they've had bad grades and that's a sudden change, then there's something to look into.
Well, you mean good grades and then there's a sudden change? Or are you talking about, like, they've had bad grades and then they finally flip and they're like,
No.
I'm going to do good things?
No, it's the other way. Like, if they suddenly have bad grades.
Oh, I don't know why I thought you said if they had bad grades and then there's, okay,
No.
all right, my bad. Hey,
No, if
listen.
it was a sudden flip into bad grades. I said it poorly, my bad.
Because it's interesting, right? Like, even if we go back to, like, where our school journeys, right?
Right.
Which I've talked about.
Quentin was always in gifted. My mom put me in gifted. But apparently, according to them, or according to my mother, I tested out because I just couldn't
It's the ADHD, baby.
stay still.
It's the ADHD, baby.
But I was always a strong reader. Math wasn't my subject, but I was always good at everything else. But apparently I tested out because of my behavior.
I think for me, my sister definitely was like a gifted kid. Like, she grew up being like academically inclined and whatever. Like, she was star student, you know?
Quentin.
When I got to school, I did my best. When I was in school, I was doing really, really well up until
I moved to Florida.
Until depression hit real heavy. And that's when, like, my grades started slipping. And I used to have teachers that were like, you have such a great potential to do so well. You're just highly unmotivated. I'm like, yeah, I would like to die.
It's because I'm sad.
I'm sad, stupid.
Can I do something about that?
Right.
No.
Because
Okay.
it's always been interesting because when you got to Cookman, you were doing fine, and then depression hit again. But I think the difference was, and this is why I think I will always be grateful for my HBCU experience, because if we did start to slack off, or if there was moments where we were not doing what we were supposed to do, we had professors or we had people in different places that we had grown relationships with that was like, hey, get back on your shit. Mine was Mama Walker.
Right.
If she noticed I wasn't as cheerful, or I wasn't showing up at a certain time like I used to, or if I was, she would just have to look at me and be like, Miss Stevens, yes ma'am, what's going on with you? So you want to try it again? Like, she was good for that, and she's still good for that. She loves to do,
That was awesome.
Excuse you.
and I think that happened for her, especially, I think, who was it for you?
You know, what's really interesting, I had a lot of teachers who did care about me. They just didn't know how to care about me.
Right.
So, my biggest motivator was my scholarship.
Oh, yeah.
Because I needed the money to stay.
Correct.
So it wasn't like, oh, I was fueled by the passion of knowing that I could do better. I was fueled by anxiety. Like, I have to do better because I will lose everything.
Ain't that combo a bitch?
It's a terrible combo. But Quincy, I've always had this question for you.
What's up?
Apparently, I'm a little aggressive with this here watch. All right. Anyway, sorry. You were always such a good student, and like anytime mommy and daddy told you you needed to do this, you needed to keep this up, you needed to do that, you always did it. I wasn't the one to do that. I was like, y'all gonna get whatever I give you, and this is just gonna be that because I tried. That's all that matters. But when you got to college, you were almost just like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm not doing this no more. I wonder what was that click for you where you were like, I'm tired of doing what everyone told me. I'm tired. What was that?
Well, it was, for one, also depression. So gifted kid burnout, for one.
Oh, huge.
2, I went to school for art. So I continued to do the thing that I loved, but I was putting it up for other people to judge and grade. Not just,
I want to do this.
Right. I was doing... I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't following my passion. I was doing what I loved, but not because I loved it, but because I had to do it.
That is so huge.
That is huge.
Going to school for your craft as an artist is so
especially at University of Florida, and not an actual art school he wanted to go to.
Correct.
I feel like I've had friends that go to art schools for their craft, and they have also had rough times. Like it's
it's rough
for sure.
It's something steals the joy of you doing your craft.
Yeah.
Whenever you have to put a grade on it.
Right. So what was your passion at that time then?
It was art.
It was your passion, but you didn't like the fact of. So, okay. So we've had this conversation before, where I was saying that my mom and dad wanted me to be. My dad wanted me to be in business. My mom wanted me to be a journalist, because they said I had a good knack and I had a passion for questioning things and being observant. I feel like once they realized you did it, it was like, because Quincy has always been good at art. He's always been good at drawing, even before he went to school for it. School just kind of gave him different techniques to use with different things to use it. But he's always been good at it. That has never been an issue for him. He would rather do that than go play sports, unlike me, who wanted to go play sports.
Yeah, I enjoyed the sports. I enjoyed the arts, not the sports.
And I think, and us coming from Cleveland to Florida, that was a big lesson in curriculums are not standard across the states.
Definitely not, yeah.
Because where I was excelling in all of my classes, I was doing good. I may have talked too much, but I was doing good. I may have had like a B in math, or maybe a C. No, I've never had a C until I moved to Florida. I may have had a B in math, but once I got here, I was lucky to get more A's than C's.
That's always been my contingency with the education system. It depicts what is considered to be not necessarily like the bad student, but like someone that is not excelling, as versus a kid that is excelling by the standards of a very rigid standard. Like
the state test.
There are multiple kinds of intelligences in students, but like the education system, the way it stands, especially with Florida, it is catered to a certain kind of learner,
and I hate it.
and it's not open to all kinds of learning for all students.
What was the Ohio test? Wasn't it like the Ohio proficiency test or something like that? And then I never had a problem passing the reading. I get to Florida, I missed the FCAT by one question every time I took it.
I hated the FCAT.
I had to take the ACT to get the FCAT like removed as a requirement, and they had me in intensive reading. Me, AJ, me, the bookworm.
I feel like
Can't, but passed the math FCAT.
Right.
Didn't have to retake the math, but I failed reading.
The reading.
I feel like
which is
Florida
wild.
makes you a good test taker.
That's
No.
It tries to. You know,
It
I would
tries
say,
to.
It
That's what it
tries
goes
to
for.
make kids good test takers.
It's
and
just not
That's
successful.
what I grew up to be, because I was a Florida student all my life. I was, No Child Left Behind, even though No Child Left Behind left every child behind.
Every single one.
Left every single one.
Left every single child behind. But it did create in me a great test taker. I take tests in 15 minutes and I'm done. Did I understand nothing? No, because I do an information drop. As soon as like the test is over, gone. I didn't retain any of that. I wanted to pass the test.
Well, you do great with this licensure exam I'm working on. But I also feel like because of us being black students, and so me and Q grew, you went to what schools?
I went to elementary, middle school was like, that's interesting because I went to a predominantly black school, and then somewhere in the middle of middle school, they kicked out 2/3 of the black students and replaced all the teachers because of redistricting. Please look up redlining. So redistricting, and that's when I got a new experience. And then after that, I went
school was that?
to Landon Middle. And then after that point, I went to Paxson, School for Advanced Studies.
You know, we moved to Jacksonville. My mom was like, we stayed on the south side. Our first apartment was on San Jose Boulevard. Right. And I got here, I was still in middle school because I was in high school.
Yep. So I spent the
First year,
the first, not even the full, like as soon as we got here. So we got here at the
October.
Yeah, like halfway through fall semester of freshman year. And I went to Mandarin.
And I went to Mandarin Middle.
Interesting choice. Interesting.
Well, I had tried to just immediately get into DA.
But because it was the middle of the school year.
And they were like, hey,
DA is...
we need you to take this entrance exam. And it was like, nah, fam. So I took some art lessons. Yeah. Got better and got in for
DA is
sophomore.
hard to get into.
It is.
It is.
And they almost exclusively accept students from La Villa.
La Villa, yeah.
And honestly, when I saw the audition requirements, the kids have to have drawing of a hand, their own hand. They have to do a self-portrait from the mirror. And they have to do one where I think they get to like one piece they get to do on their own. Like they get to decide what that piece would be. But because when I say a lot of my kids can draw really well, especially the one with big feelings, she can draw really well.
Yeah.
And I just want to like push that, but I don't want to push it so hard where they're not happy with it.
Right.
Because I know I saw what it did to you, and I was just like, I never understood it, of like why they were pushing him so hard. But also I used to get upset. Me and my mom used to have these arguments all the time because she would always compare me to Q, because Q would go to school and do his work. He would do his classwork. He would do his homework. Quincy would come home with pretty decent grades. I don't know what his GPA was when he graduated high school, but I know mine was at least a 3.0.
Mine was close to 4 or 4, I think.
See what I'm saying?
I was taking AP classes though.
I
was taking AP classes too, but I didn't get no. I wasn't no close to 4.0. No. I wasn't nowhere near.
I went to the same high school that my sister went to, and my sister was a star student. So much so that when she graduated, they did an interview for her, and they played it at the graduation.
Wow!
Oh.
And when I got there, there was the same teachers, and they were like, "Oh, you're gonna be like Jasmine." I'm not. Please don't put all that on me. I'm gonna disappoint you.
I'm a different
one day she actually got mad at me because she was just like, "Why can't you be more Clinton? Because I'm not him."
Right.
The fuck.
I hated being compared to my sister. I will say my sister never did that to me. She never compared my progress to hers. I had a different life path, and she's always been good about like, you don't have to be me.
Right.
It was the adults who thought that because I had the same DNA structure that I'm supposed to be a replica of my sister.
She tried to get me to go to DA behind Quincy and was like, "Oh no, you're gonna go for voice." No, I'm not. Or she wanted me to go for my clarinet. No, I'm not. I will not. I refuse. I'll go to my home school. I'll go to Wolfson. Sure. And Wolfson I went.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah,
and that's why it was always interesting because most people think I'm my high school people, they thought I was the only child. Me and Quincy did some separate things on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we never, and it's so funny, we never had the conversation about
we just did it.
Like being separate and not being compared or having to compare each other or worry about the comparison. We kind of just did our own things. And we were always like supportive of that, but we just never thought to have a conversation about it. Mm-hmm. That's just something we did. And when our parents tried to make it that way, we were like, nah, we're good.
I think a benefit of my mom is that she's never tried to make it seem like me and my sister had to go in the same life paths. Now, she thought at one point that we were going to, because again, she was like, I thought you were going to be a lawyer, but like, my sister was going to be like in med. My sister's in med now, and I was going to be a lawyer, go into law. But like, once I made the decision that I wanted to focus on being a vocalist, my mom was like, oh, gung ho. Like, she was actually very supportive of that, of this, like, my supporting art.
Because you're good at it, and you love it.
Yeah, like, she knew that it actually made me happy. And she's always been had the idea of, like, whatever gift God gives you, you have to use.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I made that decision, she was super, like, elated. Me and my sister both can sing. Like, my sister sings. She sang in college, but we're just very different in how we pursue what we want to pursue.
Like me, we love music. We love art. We love all aspects of it. Like, I do enjoy looking at paintings and looking at, I love all aspects of creative arts. Mm-hmm. However, I never dreamed of being a singer. I never dreamed of being. Now, of course, I had a wall full of mirrors, so one would think that was the path I was supposed to be on. Yeah. But no, that was an outlet for me.
Right. And
yeah.
I knew my ministry was going to be something helping people. I just never knew the name for it.
Yeah.
Until it was time for me to go to college.
Yeah, and I've always loved art in many of its facets, like love music, love art, love theater, acting, all of that fun stuff. That's why, RPGs and LARP is so good for me.
Yeah.
I get to act without, like,
having to be an actor.
Right. I get to play a bunch of different people.
Going back to education,
girl, we never left.
Well, yeah. But like I've always had like a passion for like music and like for pursuing music. Mm-hmm. But you know what really, really did kind of kill it? Was going to college for it.
Yeah.
And then music theory.
You know what? You know what's crazy?
I love music theory
did not kill it for me.
I love music theory. It's so good.
Okay, no. Okay, wait.
The Class.
Thank you.
There you go.
Music theory in of itself is definitely something in depth and something any music connoisseur or any musician should have a very good, vast understanding of. Mm-hmm. However, I was sick of hearing about music theory as a psychology major.
Fair.
Yeah.
From the beloveds that had to take music theory.
It was a struggle, okay?
Not to say that they didn't enjoy it, because definitely there's so many different things that would play a factor. Say, oh, Lord, y'all, we need to wrap this up. Oh. But it's still like education can kill a dream and kill someone's creativity because of how stringent and how they try to fit the art or fit the creative arts into a standard scale of sorts.
Yeah.
Of A, B, C, D, F. And some people, their creativity doesn't fit that standard. Yeah. And so now you're telling this person that they're not good enough or their grade isn't satisfactory because they don't do it in the way that the syllabus or the curriculum wants them to do it.
I can tell you that happened to a lot of musicians. A lot of us from the music department actually have PTSD and do not perform anymore and will not perform anymore.
And that's fair.
And I never really admitted it, but talked about it. But the reason why I stopped performing after I left college was because I went through that whole program thinking I was never good enough.
Because they always but here's the biggest lesson in that, right? Because a lot of y'all were so talented and so, but y'all were very understanding at how talented you were. And I'm not saying it as this was you, but a lot, especially at the time where we were there, a lot of them felt entitled.
Oh no, there was a lot of that.
Or they felt like they didn't have to, the black person mantra where you have to be twice as good, if not better, than your white counterparts.
Yeah.
And when you go into these spaces, especially in opera or when you go into theater, they not looking for black people like that. And so the way that they were pushing them, I do get it. But also the way that they were pushing them pushed a lot of them out of wanting to be a performer.
Right.
Or, because but I'm going to say this and you're not going to like it. You needed it. Because the person you were when I first met you was so unsure. But this was like you weren't unsure because your teachers were telling you, no, that's not good enough. You were already in your head about you not being good enough. Does that make sense?
And I think my progress through school has taught me that there are certain aspects where my voice or like my presence is very much in demand. And I'm still not good enough. Like it's that's where I ended up at the end of my progress when I graduated, when my mindset was I know what I'm good for and what I'm good at, and it's all it is just a product. I'm still not good enough, and that's where I ended with.
But that's the problem.
It is, yeah.
Cause okay, yeah. So. And I think I played 2 videos back to back, and we're really gonna wrap this up. She did a song before, and it was really low, like it was low in her range, and she never tried to like push herself. And then she got with is he a doctor yet? Dr. Ram? Is he a doctor? I don't. Mr. Ram?
Mr. Ram.
Mr. Ram. So anyway, Mr. Ram. And when I tell you, that is a tall, big man. And at graduation, he's always playing up. Like, he's always in the theater. The theater. How dare you? Oh my gosh. Okay, so
finish this story, then go to that one.
No, I'm not gonna. That's not gonna be on camera because that we will not get through.
Okay.
So the first couple times you could hear it in her voice. She was very fearful. She wasn't opening up. And then they did a performance in the pack, and she had this hat on. You remember what that was? It was the chorale. It might have been Porgy and Bess, maybe.
Might have been.
But she came out, and you could see her like standing in it, and all of the confidence in the world. I said, now that's you, bitch, and you better not change it for nobody. But your mindset in all of your aspects make you self-doubt everything that you're worthy of.
Okay.
I'm just saying, in your driving, in your jobs, in your communication with people, you self-doubt all of it.
It's so weird. It's a weird mix. Because, like, it's like I know what I'm good for.
And yet you feel you're still not good enough.
You know what? I don't think I like that phrasing.
Get her together.
You know what you're good for? Because you know what that sounds like?
Use. Product.
And you're definitely not a product.
How about this? You know your worth.
I don't even think she know that.
Obviously. Because she just said, I know what I'm good for.
I mean, obviously. Yeah, you're right.
That's what you need to start working on. Because you know what you're good for means you're just a tool. And you are so much more than that. Okay?
Gathered. Yep.
Fantastic. Now that we got you together.
You too.
Hey, bitch.
Yes.
I know. I'm working on it.
And I love that for both of you.
Thank you. Hey, is it time?
Yes.
Oh, right. It is time.
Fantastic.
It's time. It's time for Music of the Week. Music of the Week. Hey, Music of the Week. Music of the Week. Hey.
Did you see my tired shimmy last week?
I couldn't afford to zoom in anymore. I was like, I've embarrassed you enough. I think we're done.
No, I told you to
my
go
favorite shimmy.
10 toes into that shit, please.
I had already did it by then.
Because I thought about it for like half a second. It's like, I'm going to put my hands up and we going to try it. Nope.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I was like, did I?
But the funny thing was, on video, everybody was still going in the correct direction.
Absolutely.
Every time.
I'm not going to fuck it up, even if
We're
I'm
still
tired.
in the vibe, okay?
Right.
So who going first?
Oh, can I go first?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I would like to talk about Love Calls by Kim.
Oh, that's still a great song.
It's a great song. However,
Okay.
I will forever make fun of that man for that song.
Why? Because of the love call. Yep, I knew you.
I will forever.
I have to go.
I looked up
I have
the
to
lyrics.
leave.
No, I looked up the lyrics to that song. And there was a parentheses that said unintelligible muttering.
Wait, what?
It said unintelligible muttering.
Wow.
And that is exactly what that is. That is exactly what that is.
I mean,
And I know every sound.
That I definitely I feel that.
Yeah.
All right. So mine is Journey to Make It Home by Toby Nigwe.
Oh, that's a good one. I just listened to it.
But the live version.
Oh, the live. He does so good live.
All of the live versions are just superior.
I will cry if I ever see that man live.
Yeah, for sure.
I will in tears.
Because the way he transitions, because the song starts out very lively. It'd be like doom doom doom, and then it hold on. I forgot.
You're doing great.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we should
But
just
it
have
just-
to go to it. Yeah, just go listen to it. Go.
I always know when I'm talking to a musician.
Oh, there it is. It goes into lively, and then it goes into like these strings almost like it's not like real strings because he didn't have like the strings on stage, but and then David. Anyway,
I mean, you're not wrong.
he was like, he goes into "I hope you make it home," and then hold on. First of all, we be talking about David and Luke, but what's his name?
Oh,
what is her name?
Because she's a singing
Nessa. Nessa. That heifer on that song. Fight me, ho.
She's a singing ass bitch. She's singing.
She be. Oh my goodness.
All
my
three
goodness.
of them. All three of them can catch
Beautiful.
these hands.
Every single one, especially Luke, little white ass. But you know,
Right?
singing nappy head, make it in nappy heads. This for the nappy heads in heaven. But yeah, so that song does things for me. So just be prepared. We're gonna play it in the car, okay?
Okay.
All right, great.
Oh no, we're gonna listen to. So anyway, my one song.
Thank you.
One song. I'm sorry. One to rant.
Anyway, is for the second week in a row.
Okay.
Chloe, Treat Me.
Okay.
Because
That have fun.
did you know that the outro
Is not a vocoder.
it's not vocoder?
Oh, she doing that?
That's
Yeah,
her voice.
she was like, "Hey, let's listen." She did it vocoder and then broke it down and sang all of the individual parts.
herself.
Oh, she did that?
Yes.
Yes, she was like, no, they're vocoders in the beginning.
Yes, there's
and on the,
vocoders.
no, she said the vocoders on the hook. But no, that's me
Yeah.
at the outro.
Also, blood, sweat, and tears into that video. The
Literally.
table, like the dinner table, because I watched the behind the scenes.
I did
because
too. Why
the
wouldn't
fuck
you?
not?
Of course.
The table, like the little divider parts, they had like little sharp metal bits. So when she was just splayed the fuck out,
She cut
herself.
Oh my.
So she covered it with honey to continue recording.
I love that bitch.
Like,
When I tell you she is that bitch,
oh God, I love
my
that
God,
bitch.
today.
14, her album, which is coming out,
14 songs.
14 tracks.
Oh, beautiful.
And there's going to be ballads.
Oh, she's
Ballads.
she's treating us. She's
Treat me
Like I treat me.
Or
treat
treat
these
me.
niggas.
or treat me, nigga, treat me.
Treat me, nigga. Treat me. She's like, remix. But yeah, no. That's totally fair. Because
Yeah.
that heifer is just unreal.
Like she was her own vocoder. Are you fucking kidding me?
that's
No,
amazing.
no,
Because
she's
did you
very
hear
sick.
all of it? Did you hear all of it?
So many layers to just how talented she is.
Yeah.
And then the fact that she produces and writes, her and Hallie both actually. And Hallie's working on her album right now too.
Oh, that's gonna be beautiful.
And she had pictures
I can't
with
wait to
Babyface.
compare the two.
She had she was in the studio with Babyface, and I think there's a couple other of the old heads that was in that studio with her. So yeah, no, she is about to. They're beastly.
God, and I can only imagine what they're gonna do
Correct.
when they come back together.
And
my
Zach
God.
Zach made a very, very valid point about the fact that like because now they are separate, they get to figure out and explore their own identities.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, they get to be themselves.
They get to be just Chloe and just Hallie.
They're gonna have
And
such
then-
beautiful flavors. They're
Yeah,
just
and then Chloe and Hallie is going to fuck the game up, and we're going to be no good.
None.
Okay, so we need to do it when it comes out.
Uh-huh.
We need to do a Chloe album review.
Oh no, that was mandatory. And
Hallie
she's gonna
album
actually
review.
gonna
You're
do her.
Actually gonna listen.
I'm gonna do my part.
And then when they come back together, it'll be a Chloe and Hallie album review. 'Cause that just gotta happen.
Yeah, that's kind of far out, but yeah.
Sure. But listen, I am remaining positive.
I mean, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, guys, because Hallie's working on a movie. She's working on Color Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mermaid comes out next year. Apparently, Chloe's working on some films and
Projects
stuff.
that she couldn't talk about. So that's exciting.
Films or TV shows or both.
Oh yeah, she mentioned the TV show with Donald Glover, which
Love Donald.
he apparently put out an interview where he interviewed himself.
He did.
And it was messy, but
It was very
hilarious.
problematic too.
It was hilarious to me.
I was laughing about it, but you know, I was like, first of all, I didn't know he interviewed himself until somebody said, "Wait, no, he interviewed himself." I was like, okay.
I need to see it.
Well, guys, it was a print. And it was on, I don't know how you missed it. It was a frenzy on Twitter. They were coming for my man's throat. Because one of the questions was about him marrying a white lady. And is he afraid of black women? He was like, why would you ask me that? It just sounds like you're pitting me against black people.
Which was the... Let's be real. That's a fair question. However, he asked himself that. Why would you ask me that? Sir, you were talking to yourself. What are you doing?
But yeah, guys, so we've been here long enough. This episode is actually quite long, and we kind of went all over the place about education. Well, no, we didn't. Actually, we were very spot on today.
We started like talking specifically about education, and then went into ourselves in regards to education, which is fair. It's our podcast. We do what the fuck we want.
But it was also code switching and how it affected us and how we see the system. So it's the same thing. Yeah. But yeah, so like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Code Switching Pod. Stay black, stay beautiful, stay humble.
Drink your water.
And mind your business.
Period.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.